Next one, kinship. See, this is our kinship system deals with relatives, because kins stand for relatives. So an individual has relatives from, or has relatives from father side, and they have relatives from mother side. Father side relatives are paternal side relatives, mother side relatives are maternal side relatives. Father side relatives are known as agnates. Mother side relatives are known as uterines. So together this agnates and uterines are known as cognates. Both from father side and mother side, these relatives are considered to be consanguineal relatives. Who are consanguineal relatives? Why you are another synonymous term for consanguineal relatives? Blood relatives, isn't it? So I can write consanguineal relatives are related by blood, or blood relatives. Yes, correct, blood related. So does an individual have only father side relatives and mother side relatives? Before marriage this is the situation, but after marriage you have relatives from spouse side, isn't it? So father side relatives, mother side relatives are generally consanguineal relatives, and the relatives from spouse side relatives are known as affinal relatives. So affinal relatives are non-consanguineal or non-blood relatives generally. Yeah, affinal is post marriage. Yes, correct. Isn't it? Maybe yes, you are also like siblings, spouse side relatives also will be there. So generally we will say spouse side relatives. Okay. If you want to be very, your siblings, spouse side relatives also are non-consanguineal, isn't it? If it then its situation is different, that is why I said generally or mostly, isn't it? But if it is consanguineal marriages, we have seen like cousin or what to say, uncle, niece, etc., then things will be different. But generally this is the case, isn't it? So this is it. Cognates are relatives from both father side as well as mother side. Father side relatives are technically known as agnates, mother side relatives uterines. You get my point?
What about maternal relatives?
Maternal side. Fraternal. Fraternal is from father side only, no, brother, isn't it? Okay, fraternal side means brother's spouse will be this side, affinal. They will come under affinal. So siblings and their relatives come under affinal. You get my point? Any doubt you can ask? Yes? No? So now we have primary kins. See, primary kins are members of a nuclear family. Who are your primary kins? Father, mother, brother, sister, son, daughter, husband, wife. This constitutes the primary kins. So for you, your primary kins will be your siblings, your father and mother. So members of a nuclear family, please write, members of a nuclear family are considered as members of a nuclear family are considered as primary kins. They include husband, wife, father, mother, son, daughter, brother and sister. So total 8 relations are there. So generally 2 are affinal, 6 are consanguineal. If you want to draw this diagram, you can draw. So this person, husband, father, wife, mother, son, brother, daughter, sister. Yeah, consanguineal and cognatic are one and the same. Cognate means we have written no earlier Arya. Agnates plus uterines. So paternal side relatives, maternal side relatives. Yes. So primary kins are members of a nuclear family. Then who would be secondary kins? Very good. Secondary kins are primary kins of primary kins. So okay, can you draw the diagram? So these are primary kins, no? So keeping this as constant, secondary kins will be their primary kins. So his sister, parents, maybe brother, parents. After this person gets married, so these are secondary kins. So secondary kins are primary kins of primary kins. Primary kins of primary kins.
In the family chart, is there any order specified the sibling is elder or shorter?
No, not there. Not there. So in this case, total 33 relations are there. Total 33. Now can you guess who could be tertiary kins? Tell me in words. Very good. Excellent. Primary kins of secondary kins are your tertiary kins. So please write tertiary kins. Tertiary kins. You can draw there. For all green, you can draw primary kins. So according to my convenience, I am drawing. If you want to draw for everyone, you can do so. But I think you pretty much got who are tertiary kins. Who are they? Primary kins of so this primary, secondary and tertiary kins we can only explain by keeping one particular family as constant. That means this is quite a fluid concept which keeps changing with respect to marriage of an individual. At present, your primary kins are your family, isn't it? But after your marriage and subsequently your children are born, then your primary kins will change. Once your children get married and they have, then the concept keeps changing with respect to time. So we can only define primary kins, secondary kins and tertiary kins by keeping one family as constant, and this white family we have kept as constant. You get my point? So this concept changes with respect to time. So we have kept this one as constant, isn't it? So if you see from here to here, primary, secondary, tertiary, the degree of closeness decreases. The degree of closeness decreases. So I can write from primary kins to secondary kins and then to tertiary kins, the degree of closeness keeps decreasing. Isn't it? Now you are close with your parents and siblings. After your marriage, you will be close with your spouse and subsequent children. So the degree of closeness also keeps changing with respect to time. You getting my point? Yes? And that is quite natural. That is why maybe if your elder brothers or sisters got married, no, you will find that somehow there is some kind of distance which has formed. That is why people say after marriage the person changed. But it is quite normal. If they don't change, then we have to expect something very adversary in nature. And that is quite a common phenomenon. And that is bound to happen, and that is there in the nature universally. You get my point? Every society have this kinship system. This is also universal. Whatever we are talking are universal in nature. It's not that kinship is only present in some, it is universal in nature. Everywhere you have this kinship bonds. Everywhere a human being is having relatives. Yes or no? Degree of close, reason for thickness is because they are staying together, isn't it? The more they stay together, the more close they are supposed to be. It may not be so also. Outside they may look close, but inside they may have conflicts. But generally, compared to others, isn't it? Because they are sharing some common space, they are having food cooked from a common kitchen, they are sharing everything in common, they have some similar tasks, and they have more emotional connectivity, isn't it? Say for example, you take members of a nuclear family, that means you take primary kins, you take your secondary kins, you take your tertiary kins. Any loss experienced in the primary one, the sorrow or grief is more, yes or no? But any loss or here would be a little bit less, here it would be even more, because you may be related, you may be close, but the emotional connectivity with members of a nuclear family is very high, and that emotional connectivity is very much required in order to associate yourself with maybe your family or extended family, or for that matters the organization, and the same emotional connectivity towards your country is what is known as patriotism. Many times we use the word emotional intelligence. It is very difficult to be emotionally intelligent, but yes, we have to strive and achieve it so that we can take a balanced decision. But some element of emotion is always required for us to become a human being, because understanding emotions is quite important to actually empathize or be compassionate, or at least to feel sorry about the things. You get my point? So definitely emotional component should be there, and in many younger generation this emotional component is totally lacking. Really, I am telling why. Maybe this is becoming like in the name of emotional intelligence, they are not able to carry their emotions, and you cannot suppress their emotions. You have to express them, but you have to control them so that you are not affecting others. This is very important, and that emotional connectivity should be there with your family. Obviously you all will have, but I have also seen many students or many known people who don't have such an emotional connectivity to their family, and it is quite sorrowful to know, because being like in public domain and like seeing so many people and talking to so many people every day, we can clearly say this person is slightly detached from the family. Why you will be detached from some place when you are emotionally disconnected? You get my point? Maybe because of that emotionality only we can say that the degree of closeness is high. Do you agree or not? So that is the thing. Yes.
So if in this situation the emotional bond between grandparents and grandchildren are very high, even though they are
Correct. But the thing is like, because grandparents, if they are always staying together, then it's a different ball game. But generally in nature, if you see, or maybe as a human being, you will be more close to whom? First mother only, no? As you grow up, maybe your inclination towards mother or father will slightly change, but they are just like what famously we call in India, they are like both eyes. Maybe if parents are having two children, they will say they are my two eyes. Likewise, any whether son or daughter also will say both parents are like my two eyes, isn't it? Why? Because they are the first point of contact. Yeah, you may be very close to your maternal uncle also, but does maternal uncle live with you every time? No. Maybe you may be close to paternal uncle also, it doesn't matter. Maybe you are close to your cousin than your brother. This is rare. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes, definitely they share an intimate bond, there is no doubt about it, but the first point of contact is always your nuclear family, that is your parents and then your siblings. There can be exception or deviation depending on one's own circumstances. Military personnel. What is this? Why? Yeah. See, army personnel, I don't think we can bring them into picture, but relations are same for everyone. You get my point? Everyone have their family, but the amount of time that they spend with the family may change. Like say, army, military personnel or army, navy or air force, they have to spend a relatively longer time away from their family. Most of them. Likewise, maybe you are becoming bureaucrat. Do you think that you have a wonderful time? Okay. After becoming an IAS or IPS officer, the amount of time that you spend with your family will be quite less. Have you ever thought about it? So you want to reconsider your decision of becoming an IAS or IPS officer. Police personnel, maybe you can associate with. You can say they work almost every time. They don't have a fixed time. Listen, they have to, maybe after they go to bed, if a call comes, they have to go immediately. Yes or no? Depending on the responsibilities or tasks or duties, the amount of time that people spend with their family will be less or more. It doesn't matter if it is not like if it is less or more, that emotional disconnect should come in. There will be emotional connect. Why? Because that is your family and you are proud of it. Yes or no? And as I said, no, that is why they say work-life balance, or maybe personal life and professional life balance. And these all you write as an ethical dilemma in this thing, but you actually fail to understand unless until you grow mature, or unless until you think deeper about them. Isn't it? You are going behind success, but after success, or maybe after a breakthrough that you achieve, do you really have the quality time? If you don't, then your family will think very bad about you. Maybe your spouse will feel bad. My partner is not spending time with me. Subsequently, the children will feel that they are neglected. You may not, parental care may be compromised, and that is the situation. Yes or no? Then what should be done? You should stop preparing for civils. No, there should be a change which need to occur, which regulate the working hours. Then only the efficiency will improve, productivity will improve, and then the professional and personal life balance will be there. In present day modern days, you can see 90% of the families cannot balance this professional and personal life, for which they have to sacrifice many concepts like money or maybe other materialistic needs, and their inclination should be slightly towards non-materialism, so that they'll put all these materialistic things behind, isn't it? Then only you will be able to balance these things. So that is why it is said, no, you have to earn for your need, but not for your greed. But again, need and greed is again quite subjective in nature, isn't it? I think I am the wrong person to say it. Maybe initially we think of buying one car, we end up buying 3 or 4. Maybe you think of buying one bike, you end up and all these things I also did. But through experience or maturity, we come down. But in your age, I also fail to understand what is this, why my father is saying like this. But as you grow more experienced. Unless until you experience, you won't grow mature. You getting my point? So that is the thing. And anyway, whether it is long distance or short distance relationship, if it is your family and you consider yourselves as a member of family, you obviously have more emotional connectivity, and there is no doubt about it. You getting my point? Is that clear? Arya?